Okay guys, and yo, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. We're doing a stream, guys, and something a little special about the stream today, right? I am doing this on a mobile setup, right? Let me put my volume down a bit because I never use headphones. We're doing a SEGA Saturn core. I am running this on my dual RAM setup. So the first game we're looking at was a game that kind of intrigued me. Ooh, okay, my controller turned off there because I kind of set this up a while ago, right? So a game that intrigued me was this one here, Addons audio fixes. Now, I don't really know this game well enough to know that the audio was out or anything, but let's run it and let's run with this. So, guys, I'm a little bit blind to like my figures and everything. Let me show you a picture of my setup, right? Here's my mobile setup. You can see I'm using a 10-inch laptop, then I'm using a 10-inch screen, and I've got like my MiSTer there. So the reason I've got this is I'm using my kid's desk in the front room. I don't know if you can see it there. That's the Steam Deck stand in the top kind of left corner. And on the right hand side, you can't really see it, but behind that laptop is my kid's laptop. But I moved it aside. I'm in the front room. Everyone else is sleeping and I can make noise to some extent. So we're doing a SEGA Saturn core. What I can't view here at the moment, guys, is exactly how many people are viewing. Usually I kind of like have a look at stats and everything, but you know what, that's all good, man. I know there's at least always one person watching, right? So I don't know if you're noticing anything with the audio. Let me turn the audio up a little bit for this so we can see it. And also, guys, we love Sega, right? Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love that gift. So that's props to somebody in the MiSTer FPGA Discord. They kind of had that gift there, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to save that. And I'm so glad I remembered it so I could actually use it in an actual live stream. Now, where I'm sitting in my front room, there's stairs that go upstairs, and there's like a little corner. So you got the corner stair-shaped part. I can hear a little bit of my voice bouncing off the wall. So hopefully the sound quality is okay. This is the first stream that I'm doing on YouTube. I was experimenting doing stuff on Twitch with it. Just while I was kind of trying stuff out. I bought a second capture card, which is a cheap one. I think it was like, how much was it? Big shout out to Big Al who recommended it. It was on Amazon. It was like £31, but it had that little box that you tick and you get £5 off. So I got it for £26. And guys, it actually performs really, really well. I'm using it now. It does 60 FPS at 1080p, and we're good. So anyone that's familiar with this game, is the sound sounding better to you? Because apparently this ROM hack, so what I do sometimes before I do a stream, I go and check out places like CD-ROM to see if there's anything new there that's worth kind of checking out, right? And this was there, and I was like, okay, this is really the only thing there. There wasn't really much else. That was it. So guys, we're running a dual RAM setup, right? So honestly, as far as dual RAM goes, there is just absolutely no point in currently having dual RAM. I mean, if you've got dual RAM, awesome, but there is no advantage to dual RAM. If there is, it's very, very insignificant, right? I just ran this because the dual RAM setup that I have got is kind of like mobile, right? I end up taking it out, so it's very, very easy to take out. If I go out to a friend's house, then I take the dual RAM setup with me. So it's an easy one for me to move around the house. I've actually got it in a dedicated bag with the screen, the capture card, the little keyboard, just kind of like everything so I can just stream. I just need to add my laptop. Now that laptop I usually have in my bag. If I have to have like work Teams meetings or anything, I have it on that. It's just a tiny little laptop. And it just works really, really well. Right, let's put on another game. But yeah, if there's any, you know, the sound has been resolved, it's been resolved. Now this game's a cool game, I have to say. Request welcome, yo, James Humphrey. How you doing? Wicked, man. If you are that one person, you are an awesome person. So let's, well, I wish if Castlevania ran a demo. Maybe Battle Arena to Shiden will run a demo. What I will do is I'm just going to go onto it from my mobile, but I haven't got a charger handy here, so I won't leave it on or anything. But I will just kind of keep an eye on the stats just to see what it's kind of like. Okay, that hasn't loaded, so usually we need to do a reset and it gets everything running. But James Humphrey, it's a pleasure to have you here. I spent a long time doing a tutorial today, an analog pocket tutorial, right? And it took me quite a bit of time. James Humphrey says, I know. Yo, Scalino the first, how you doing, man? Yes, I spent quite a bit of time doing this tutorial, guys, for the analog pocket. Okay, we've got 9 people watching. I'm kind of looking at my phone. Guys, this is all the sound is loud. So we're doing, this is like a budget stream, right? I'm using this on a handheld, sorry, not a handheld, I guess it's fairly close to a handheld. And for anyone that's just arriving now, this is the current setup that I'm rocking. So on the left hand side, you've got the MiSTer. I've got a wireless keyboard connected to the MiSTer. Then I've got a 10-inch screen above that, a SEGA Saturn controller. In between the laptop screen and the screen, you can see the capture card that I'm using. And then I've got my 10-inch laptop on the right hand side, which is known as the GPD Win Max, or the Win Max 2. I absolutely love this laptop. I think it's fantastic, and I've been rocking it for quite some time. I'll probably show it off a few times in here, but right now Sega needs some kissy. Awesome. Right. Oh, who's that there? Addy Daddy. Hey PCN, what was the game you just played? That was a game called Astor, bud. And if you go onto CD-ROM, there's a new variation of that out, which apparently fixes some audio. I don't know the game well enough to know what the audio fixes were or anything, but it was something new, and I thought, you know what, I'll add it to the collection. But let's have a quick little blast off to Shiden. Guys, welcome. Requests are welcome. I've got quite a number of games, probably 200 Saturn games I've accumulated that I'm kind of using. Okay, one player game. Oh, what's versus computer? Is that computer versus computer? Because, oh no, okay, that's one player versus computer. All right, cool. I really like the games where they let the computer play the computer. It kind of lets me relax and chat with you guys. But yeah, we're good. And guys, just want to mention that, yeah, these live streams, MiSTer live streams, are sponsored by Mr. Addons. Mr. Addons is a buddy, and I like giving him a plug on these MiSTer streams because he's absolutely awesome. And it's because of him and the sponsorship deal that I have that I've got this, the MiSTer that I've got the dual RAM with, right? So it gives me a second kind of mobile MiSTer, and you know, this mobile setup also gives me the opportunity to do analog pocket streams as well, so I will be doing some of those on the go, but this is actually fun. I'm really impressed with this. Also, on another side note, I picked up one of those iPad screens, right? The iPad 3 screens that are like 2K. The response time on it was actually good. It was decent. I played some Street Fighter on it. However, I don't know if I got a fake one or a dodgy one, but the colors were just off. Like, I'm colorblind, right? So I even got my kid to check. And the colors were so bad. When I was playing something like Super Mario World, I couldn't really see the objects in the background clearly. So it was actually quite bad. And I was like, okay, so but I'm glad I got that one from Amazon. So I returned that one. So instead, I'm using this generic one that I got from AliExpress, which is actually 1280p, right? Let's run another game. What's Blast Wind? I kind of forget what a lot of these games are. So I got this one from AliExpress. It was like £43, the little screen there. And you know what? I kind of liked it. Anyway, man, time for some SEGA Kissy Kissy. I absolutely love that GIF. Seriously, cannot get bored of it. Absolutely love it. Whoever put me onto that from the MiSTer Discord, props to you. I can't remember who you were, but when I saw that GIF, I was like, yep, you know, go on it. Click the three little dots and let's save that. So awesome stuff, guys. I hope everyone is having a good evening. It's 10:23 here in the UK, guys, and I don't know what the different times are around the world. I know we get different time zones here, so the streams end up being quite popular. Whether I do them early in the morning, whether I do them in the afternoon, the numbers are kind of all right. Okay, so what was this? Blast Wind, was it? Someone who asked what that first game was, it was this one here, Astor Audio Fixes. Yeah, oh wait, wicked, that was Addy Dade, is that how you say it? Right, so that was what we were running there. So, and this game here is called Blast Wind. Okay, so what kind of wind are we blasting? Right, okay, well, hello there, Ultimate Destroyer, right, okay. Right, Aldo Luigi, yo man, how you doing, man? I'm good, my bro. I'm good. Aldo Luigi Romano. Okay, gotta say the full name where I can without trying to butcher it. Yeah, so I actually spent a long time doing that analog pocket guide that I put out earlier. You know, I wanted to do an update one. It actually took 8 hours to do that video, man. I was like, it's something I've been meaning to do for a while. Okay, we're playing a shmup. I like shmups. So yeah, yeah, it took a while to do it, and this is what I'm kind of doing to relax. Well, I had a choice. I've started Castlevania Symphony of the Night again. and this time I'm playing it on Android, and I wanna, wow, okay, maybe this is small and I'm just sucking. But yeah, I played, so I've been playing Symphony of the Night on an Android device, right? Honestly, it's really, really good. All right, let's just go for something else. Clearly, I can't do that. Bubble Symphony is fantastic. So, oh, thank you, Aldo. Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, those guides do really, really well. And so what happened recently, I was looking at my YouTube stats and I got a surge in views on the Analog Pocket guides. And I thought, you know what, a lot of people have bought an Analog Pocket very, very recently. And maybe it's time just to do an updated guide, because there are some new additions in there that came with the firmware updates. So maybe it's time to kind of do it. So that's super. Appreciate the feedback on that. I'm sure there's probably some things that are left out, but you know, it's there. So yeah, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do the guide some time ago, if I'm completely honest. I wanted to do it, and I just kept putting it off. I was like, okay, you know, because I know it's going to take some time, but then I was like, you know what, let me get down there, and I'll actually get on with it. So this is Bubble Symphony. So there's a few games that I have to run on a Sega Saturn stream, and Bubble Symphony is one of those games. And the other one is I always like running is Daytona. Also, like, actually there's a whole bunch of games I like running. So guys, we're doing the dual RAM stream, but there's no real reason as to why I'm doing it. The reason that I'm doing it is because if you arrive late and you haven't seen it, I've got a new mobile setup that I can kind of set up in my front room on my kids' desks while everyone's sleeping upstairs, and I can make a bit of noise. It's actually 10:30 and it's a school night. I don't have work tomorrow. I don't have work till Friday, so I was like, let me kind of get this going. But guys, like the dual RAM, honestly, that I'm using, I haven't done one for a while. There is zero reason to get dual RAM, right? If there's anything that happens on the Sega Saturn core, seriously, it is not worth it at all. You know, if you're gonna buy a MiSTer and you want to get a dual RAM one, you know, if you're never going to use a CRT, then cool, right? But if you ever intend on using the CRT, then go for the single one. There's enough there to kind of keep you going for now, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I've got the dual RAM one. It lets me test stuff, and maybe some cores will come out. I remember the Midway core that came out that only worked with dual RAM, but that didn't have sound. And you know, I'm not into loud sound, but I'm definitely into sound. Like, I like at least hearing the sound of the game I'm playing. Even now, it's not really too loud, but that's just how I am, right? I think it's being that parent, right? I always like to hear what's going on around the house, right? Even though we're good, my wife's upstairs, kids are asleep, I'm the only one awake. I didn't grab I've got some water with me today. I didn't grab a funky drink or anything. But guys, if you've got any requests, then hit me up, man. We're all good. I like this game. There was a score challenge on this game, and for a little while I was actually in 3rd place. But then I got destroyed. I mean, look how good this game looks. The worst thing about this game, the soundtrack's a little bit meh. It's so kind of exciting-ish. It ends up kind of doing your head in. So right, let's run with another game. I'm just going to keep picking random games, guys, until... Oh, what's on the Capcom Generations? Oh, okay. That's Ghouls and Ghosts, I think. Oh, is that Ghouls and Ghosts? Oh, I can't even remember. Right. Oh, right. Let's have a look. Oh, Contra's just terrible on that. Cotton 2. Cotton's really, really good, guys. It's a good shmup. I really like this screen, guys. Again, guys, you're going to see this come up lots and lots of times because I absolutely love this GIF, and Sega needs some kissy from the hot babe. I wonder how old she is now and how old that GIF is, right? You know, she's probably like in her 60s now, but you know what? I'm in my mid 40s now anyway, so all good in the hood, right? Are we loading? Yes, we are. Okay, no, we're not loading. Oh, hold on. That's when we can select it usually, and it will load the game. Really, really weird with the Saturn core, right? Sometimes when you load a game, it takes you back to like the dashboard. You either give it a reset or you select the cartridge and then it works. But what's great about this core, guys, is ROM hacks work, right? Whatever ROM hacks are thrown at this thing, they just work. What's going on, man? Everyone's quiet today, man. Let's get talking, guys. Like, you know, the thing about this live streams is we can talk about pretty much anything, right? I don't like swearing or using bad language, so I try and keep everything clean. A couple of reasons. A, I just don't like swearing in general. I used to swear a lot, every couple of words, and someone said to me, you know, you can get all your points across without actually swearing. And I was like, you know what, that's actually a good idea. And I kind of got out the habit of it. And the other thing is try and keep stuff family friendly. So I try and avoid adult themes, adult images, and swearing, right? Because I don't want people that aren't logged in to be forced to log in. I watch stuff at work on my work PC, right? And I'm never ever logged in. It's a PC with, well, me not being logged in, and I can watch stuff. And I've gone onto videos which have been flagged as adult videos, and what happens in that video is it tells you must log in to see this. Kissy time again. Okay. Oh my God, Gov, where are ya? Yeah, Governor. Call me tomorrow. Call me sometime, man. I did give you a call, but I imagine you are busy. But we gotta talk, my man. I actually miss you, guys. Gov 2018 is my ex-boss. I still see him as my boss because the guy was good to me for the best part of a decade. Anyone else would have sacked me and kicked me out the door, but this guy not only tolerated me, but was just super awesome, man. So good to hear. Gov, isn't it past your bedtime now? It's 22:30, as the military time say, or 10:30 over here. Right, what are we doing here? Let's get some Cotton, gang. So guys, I actually got the new version of Cotton for Steam, the Dreamcast version that was cancelled and it was brought out. That's actually yeah, so that's out. But you know what? It really isn't that good, right? It looked fantastic when I checked it out in previews and everything. I was like, wow, that is just brilliant. But when I actually tried it, I just didn't really feel it as much. I mean, let me know what you guys think. But the 3D kind of Cotton, that it's out for everything, guys. It's out for the PlayStation 5 or maybe even the 4. The Xbox series, which is the Deadbox series, is out for Switch and it is out for Steam, so you can pretty much get it for anything. Yeah, but it really isn't that good. I kind of featured it in the news video, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back and play it. I just, do you know what? It feels like an arcade game, right? But that new version, it just doesn't feel right. Like, see, one of the reasons I love the Sega Saturn is all these games that feel like arcade games, right? They just feel darn good, right? I absolutely love playing them. They feel fantastic, right? Now, one of the reasons I wanted to try that Cotton, I mean, what I should have done is just checked out the Dreamcast version. Maybe that could have answered my question. So I got the Steam version, and one of, I like playing some of these games. I may never complete these games. I'm quite happy just having like a one little credit run, like a little blast. It makes me feel like I'm that kid again in the arcade, one credit on a game and just kind of running through. And I thought I might get that buzz on that Cotton game, but honestly, it really didn't create that buzz for me. If anything, I was actually quite disappointed. It just didn't, I don't know. A game can be difficult, I could get destroyed in it, but I need that fun, man. I just need that. I need that arcade fun, and that new Cotton game really doesn't deliver. I don't know if there's a demo or anything available for it, but anyone that buys it, I strongly recommend actually trying it out first. Just give it a shot yourself, see what it's like, and yeah, I really can't recommend it, man. Mediocre at best. If you're a massive Cotton fan and it's something you wanted to try, it might be value to you, but you know what, it's likely something that's going to go on sale. It looks like one of those games. Now, someone said in my weekly news video that tea time is supposed to be avoided. That cannot be true, right? Because I initially thought it had to be avoided, right? But every time you get tea, your health goes up, right? So why would you avoid the tea? In fact, I really like tea, right? I mean, I really like bubble tea as well. Big shout out to the bubble tea. If you guys are into bubble tea, then let me know what your favorite kind of thing is. I go for like a vanilla milk tea, and I go for tapioca bubbles in there. I'm not really into the popping bubbles. It's all about the tapioca bubbles. So let's go for another game. Let me see, anyone got any requests in here? Screen Panorama Cotton. Oh, okay, wow, okay. I'll have to check that one out. Any thoughts on the new IO board from Mr. Addons and distributors? So I know Soldiers designed a new IO board, but it's not something I'm gonna get. I'm kind of happy with everything I've got. I'm not that extreme. The main thing for me with MiSTer and Analog Pocket is I like the accuracy, and most importantly for me is the lack of latency in there. I got into this because of playing Street Fighter. I could feel the latency. Everything else is a bonus. Now, there's a lot of stuff other people notice, I'm just not that sharp when it comes down to it. There's people like Video Game Esoterica, big shout out to him. Good friend, great channel. If you're not subscribed to his channel, check it out. There's someone like Lou from Lou's Retro Source as well. Nico Clem. These guys here, they really like know their stuff. I am your run-of-the-mill gamer, right? I really appreciate FPGA gaming, and when I go back to like emulation, I can feel a difference on the vast majority of games, right? But on the whole, I'm kind of all right with emulation with quite a lot of stuff, but with the older games, it's just everything feels so darn snappy, man. It feels really snappy. So let's load another game, right? I really like this 10-inch screen, right? You can play a lot of these older games with them really well. What Saturn games have you found so far that... Oh, right, okay, so restart point, honestly, nothing. Like, if there is a difference, it is so insignificant. Now, there is like a Google Drive sheet that's available, and the community have documented. If you head over to like the MiSTer Discord, that's a good place, right, where they share a lot of information. But you can, under the pinned, I'm pretty sure it's up there with a pin, it's got a Google Drive sheet that's got like everything that works on every version of every core, right? And you'll see really like whatever difference there is, it is very insignificant. Now, there was a time during the earlier development of the SEGA Saturn core that having dual RAM did present some advantages, but as time passed and SRG 320 put out more updates, the gap between dual RAM and single RAM really closed. So, you know, in all honesty, like, I don't see the point in getting dual RAM unless you're never ever going to play on a CRT, right? If a CRT, like, I live in hope, right, that I get a CRT one day. So for example, like this place here, like I don't really want to take over my kid's desk, but if we go back to my setup, right, if we look at the top left corner, I could effectively get a small CRT there and play it there. But you know what, this is my kid's space. I'm quite happy using the temporary setup here, right? If I use my temporary setup, I can set this stuff here, play it. I can also play it on the kitchen table. To be honest, I can play it in almost any part of the house. The small setup just works, but the single RAM gives you that analog out option, right? Now, I understand Sorge's new board lets you swap between the two very easily. It's not something I'm intending on getting. I'm really happy with the two MiSTers I've got. I've also got a few analog pockets. I've actually got 3 analog pockets in the house now. So I've got a number of devices. I'm not very greedy. I was actually gifted an analog pocket from a friend who kind of hooked me up. So my MiSTer, I got a part of the sponsorship deal. If not, I'm happy with my minimalist stuff, right? I don't collect stuff. I've only got a few different Game Boy cartridges that I collect. I had a collection at one point. I kind of got rid of it all, and after that, I was like, I'm not going to collect again. I'm a guy whose collection consists of different micro SD cards, and honestly, guys, I'm happy with it. For me, as long as I've got the end product and I'm enjoying it, I'm super duper happy. Hey Talmoron, Talmoron. Okay, hey Talmoron. I really like your videos. I own a pocket and a MiSTer myself, but I keep using my original consoles till they're full. You know what? That's absolutely great. Now, so Talmoron, I have a soft spot for my Game Boys, right? And I like using my Game Boys from time to time, but what I've been really lazy recently. What I should use is on my analog pocket, I should use my flash cart. So when I want to go over to a Game Boy and I want that kind of, I really like the original Game Boy Advance shape, and I really like the original Game Boy DMG. Now I've got IPS modded versions of those cores, and guys, I absolutely love them. Like, they are fantastic, and I like to go on them, but really I need to play on a flash cart so I can continue the same game from the pocket over to that. But Open FPGA on the pocket makes everything so darn easy, man. I'm really looking forward to a MiSTer handheld if it can happen, if it sees the light of day. If something like that comes to be, then that's going to be awesome, right? I mean, I'm a big Symphony of the Night fan. I'd love to play the original PlayStation version on like the MiSTer on a handheld. But guys, I have to say the Android version, I know I always say it, the Android version of Symphony of the Night, guys, seriously good. Like, seriously good. Absolutely love it. I'm on the part now where I've just kind of got missed. So I've got missed, and I'm around there. It's been a while since I played it, so I've forgotten a lot of it because I've got a bad memory. But guys, that is so darn good. Now, I can't play Symphony of the Night on this, and the reason that I can't play Symphony of the Night on this, I just don't like it with Saturn controls, right? I've always played the PlayStation version, if I played it on emulation, or if I played it later on like the PSP version, it's always had the 4 face buttons. It's had that PlayStation kind of control. So playing it on the Saturn for me, I just don't like it. I can't get used to it. I don't even want to get used to it. I know some people prefer it. There's the version on the Saturn that's been updated with some quality of life changes, like, you know, you don't have to go into the menu to pick the map. As well as that, it's got the dialogue from the PSP version, the updated translation. But I can't stand the buttons, man. And the Android version is very similar to that. And I've got a 4-button kind of PlayStation controller layout Android device. Just can't. Yeah, do you know what? You know what? Addons, that's all right. I'm quite happy using screen filters. Now, they'll never compare to an exact CRT, but man, they do a fine job of it, right? I mean, we can run some here. Right, okay, so if we go into video processing, load preset, we can go display specific, right? So we can go something like a PVM, and it may not look so good. In fact, I know it's not going to look good by the time it's coming at you guys on YouTube. It's looking good to me. But, you know, you've got options here that do make the experience better, but not just great. But I'm going to turn that off because, especially if you're watching something on a smaller screen, you're going to see that it just really isn't, it doesn't look that good, right? So that's why for anyone out there that wants to get into like YouTube or streaming, anytime you're doing videos, only have stuff with no filters on, have like the raw stuff out there, because having like visual filters on it, the compression just absolutely kills it, man. Yeah, do you know what? That's, yeah, Talmaron, that's absolutely fantastic. And that's one of the things I like about the Analog Pocket. I can take it on the go, and then if I want, I don't really play, to be honest. The only time I play in front of like a screen is honestly when I'm doing these streams. That is it. I spend so much time in front of my laptop doing YouTube stuff, and then for my computer, I spend 90%. Sorry, for my computer, for my job, I spend 90% of the time in front of a computer. So. Yeah, I tend to, when I want to game, I don't want to sit at a seat and do it. I generally like to lie down in bed, or, you know, sit on the sofa in the front room while everyone's doing their thing, and that's how I like the game. And I've become acquainted to that, and we're spoiled now because handheld gaming, from like the games from the days of Game & Watch to the days of what do we have now? Right, let's go Dead or Alive. To the days, yeah, the Game Boy days, and now we've got like, I've got like the ROG Ally, right? By the way, the ROG Ally has a crap D-pad, and I have to say it every time. I ran Symphony of the Night on that to play that on Duck Station, and guys, you know what? It just straight out sucked, man. Like it just, boom, it just sucked. Like the D-pad is so bad, it's actually unplayable. Like that's how bad it is. So. I always say this, if you're going to get a ROG Ally and you see one cheap, because they are getting cheap, that's why I bought it. I bought it for, it's supposed to be 700 new. I bought it a few months back as an open box kind of return thing or whatever, customer return, and it was like £365. But guys, I bought it knowing that the SD card slot will roast your SD because all the heat passes over it, and I bought it knowing that the D-pad's rubbish, right? And that's why I agreed to about that price. I kind of play newer games on it on the analog sticks, but I have to say, guys, that yeah, the D-pad is just, it is so bad. It is just so wasted on that. So guys, this is Dead or Alive. Let's see if that, remember on the PlayStation, right? So if we go into options, has it actually got a thing for your age? No. Okay, set time. Okay, so there was there was an option, right? that I think on a PlayStation, or one of the PlayStation versions of the game, it had it where if you put your age to 99, things got made bigger. But it doesn't look like it's in there. So I usually pick Hayabusa, but we'll go with a female character this time. So let's go with Kasumi. Yeah, I don't get that. Like with modern devices now, I certainly feel that wow, this looks really good. So I feel like the D-pad is always an afterthought, right? D-pad's like, okay, you know, oh, let's just add the D-pad on this. It's almost as if they're putting a straw into the drink or something, right? It's just terrible. I mean, like, I'm not a big fan of the Steam Deck D-pad, but guys, I'll tell you one thing. After playing the ROG Ally, the Steam D-pad is just amazing. The Steam Deck D-pad in comparison is amazing. I can't play fighters on the Steam Deck D-pad. I know some people can. They say if you break it in, it gets a little bit better. But, you know, for example, if I'm playing like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Bloodstained, Dead Cells, a lot of 2D games on there. If I want to play Super Mario World on there, there's no issues with any false inputs. If I go into emulate Emu Deck and run Shadow Dancer, I don't crawl by accident. Whereas Shadow Dancer on the ROG Ally, if I'm trying to just crouch, he'll randomly start crawling either left or right. Like, it is that bad. Like, honestly, when I looked at it in previews, I thought it might have been the controller that was available on the Xbox Series controller. Oh, that's went slow there a little bit. I wonder if that actually happens on hardware. We went slow. Oh guys, what's really good as well, right? The little monitor that I'm using is actually powered via USB from the MiSTer, and I'm using the DE10 Nano power supply that came with it. Nothing extra special, nothing like that. So that's really good, right? Okay. But yeah, so that's working there. Now, I did buy another screen that I mentioned earlier, the iPad 3 one, but I got either a dud or a fake one because the colors were off. That couldn't be powered by the MiSTer. I had to power that via my laptop. But yeah, interesting. It's just nice. Really like this mobile setup, right? Let's go to another game now. I don't know what this game is. There's a buddy of mine, Philae, who always recommends games, and often when he tells me the games, I forget about them. Philae, this one's for you, man. That Sega is you, and you are getting a kiss from the hot lady. Wicked. Hey, PatronTube, how you doing, man? Oh, we can do it. Okay, yuck Eugen special. Right, let's have a look. How we doing? Okay, hey guys, if you're just tuning in, let me just show you guys my setup. This is my tiny little mobile setup, but it just means I can do stuff at night, and if I want to do a video, I can bring this down and I don't have to whisper, because sometimes I really want to get the video out there, and my wife's asleep in the room. Now, my wife is awesome, right? But okay, so this is the one where you're a camera crew. So, but I whisper, so sometimes I'm doing a video, I'm like, hey guys, we've got a new release. Yeah, we're all good. I don't have to do that stuff anymore, right? So this is a weird game. I think we're gonna get like a monkey chucking bananas at us. What? Okay. Again, really as bizarre as they come, right? So let's go there. I got a cameraman. I remember getting to a monkey with bananas, and guys absolutely love this. And guys, another thing to mention here that I always say, you really shouldn't be getting too many adverts. Adverts should be the absolute minimal. There's 3 options you can pick when you do a live stream, which is aggressive, which is lots and lots of adverts, right? Then after aggressive, you've got balance, which YouTube considers a fair amount of adverts. But in all honesty, I found that the balance was too many adverts for my liking. So there's conservative, which might only be like 1 advert, right? You should really not be getting too many adverts. So if you do get too many adverts, or you feel like there's too many ads popping up, do let me know, because I'm quite happy while doing the streaming not monetizing them, and I can always monetize the replay, right? At least I think I can. So yeah, do let me know about it, because you know what, there's really not a lot of money to be made on streams compared to videos. Not that I'm making a lot on videos, but a stream will usually earn about 1/4 of it. So I'm quite happy to have just a better viewing experience for you guys on that. You know, the money, the jump in money from changing the advertising to minimal from like balanced or aggressive, it really isn't worth it. Like, you know, if it was big money, if I was getting like, you know, like a couple of £100 per stream, and turning advertising off or turning it to like conservative, took that 200 down to like £10, then I might be leaving it on there, right? Because hey, I'm not kidding around. I like doing YouTube, but you know what, like anyone, I'm definitely incentivized by money, cash. I love it out there. So guys, if you can see that there, I'm on a small screen, but apparently there's an ape there, and he's just chucking bananas at me. Okay, I overtook it. Right, okay, let's whack on another game. Let me have a look at chat. Right, I'm gonna look at chat. Oh, okay, I've seen something there. Shinru. Okay, we've got that. Well, I'm sure we've got that game, right? So I've got a keyboard as well. Wicked. Love that little keyboard, man. So Shinru. Where is it? Well, here we go. Shinrei. I think that's the one, isn't it? Shinrei. Really bad with names, man. Yeah, that's got to be the one, right? Let's run this. Let me have a look at some of the chat as well in case I missed any. Oh, okay. Okay. The Yakuken special, seriously don't. I'm not gonna do it. Thanks for the warning, guys. I actually had a power failure, man. Like the lights just went out, and it wasn't anything local in my house. It was actually to do with UK power networks. Because, all right, a little tip out there, guys. If you lose power, especially in the UK, right, what happens is, yeah, if you've got power in your electricity meter and the light and everything is on in there, it means that the power issue is from within your house, right? But if there's no light on your electric meter, it means it's an external issue. And so it's a little bit annoying because it's happened a few times now, right? So it just kind of killed my stream there. So we're kind of resuming from where we left off. So apologies for that, guys. But honestly, that was just something that was out of my control completely. So I don't know what it works like when a stream resumes. It'll be interesting, right? Because if something like this happens in the future, it will see how it comes back. It'll be interesting. Is there a big gap in there? Can I cut stuff out? I just have no idea. But yeah, that just sucked that happened, man. I was like, oh no, that just went. And obviously my laptop was running on power, but my router went off. What I could do is I could actually run it through my phone. So my phone is piggybacking off the Wi-Fi. But then if all of a sudden signal was to drop, my phone will then revert over to 5G. I mean, it's not something that we suffer from a lot here in the UK. I've been to other countries where they have load shedding and the electricity goes for certain hours in a day. Over here, we're kind of all right. For Talmaron, the longest thing over here that I had was waiting for my router to reset. It really feels like it takes about 5 minutes, and the 2 gigahertz connection kind of came through first, and then the 5 gigahertz came through after. So again, apologies, man, that just kind of sucked, man. I almost was going to leave the stream, but then I was thinking, is there a way I can resume it? I stopped it in OBS, but I didn't stop it in the web browser. So I thought, let me check the web browser, and it kind of gave me an option to resume the stream. So that was kind of interesting. It'll be fun to see how it kind of resumes. I've not had that happen before. I think this is the first time the electricity has gone off during a live stream. So yeah, I'm kind of glad for that recovery. I just remembered when I said electricity here, right? One of my friends' mothers, when we were in school, I don't think she was educated too much, to be honest. But instead of saying electricity, she always said electric city. Electric city. That's how she said electricity, right? This is one weird ass game, but you know what? I absolutely love this game. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And is there a way I can? So the other guy had like a crosshair. Here we go. Have I got the crosshair now? I've never picked it. I think I usually pick the other character, right? Okay, that's cool. Yep, get the skull. Again, great game. Great game. I remember I really did like the controls for this. I thought they just worked, but okay, here we go. Let me just avoid the fire, right? Okay, it's coming back for me, so maybe I should shoot it, right? And what a cool game, guys. Like, seriously. Like, I would have loved this on the Saturn. Like, this is the kind of game I would have wanted to complete. I probably would have done a better job than I'm doing right now, right? So that's just that's mad, right? But wow, what a great game, man. Again, why I love the Saturn, man, it's stuff like this. There's just so much good stuff for it, man. It is just fantastic. Absolutely love it, man. And this is, you know, like, these are the kind of games, like, I don't feel like at the age I am now, I may not go through and try and complete all these games, right? Because I was thinking about it, and when I was a kid, or when we were all kids, right, we had that patience, we had that perseverance, right? We wanted to go through and complete all those games, right? Now, honestly, I'm happy giving it one little game, having a quick blast of it and having fun. And that's why, again, why I so love the Saturn. And again, exactly how great the MiSTer FPGA is, right? If I didn't have a MiSTer, honestly, I would have never discovered what a great machine the SEGA Saturn actually was. You know, I'd have been, okay, PlayStation, you know, N64 that we played, but out of the PlayStation and N64 right now as it stands, the Saturn is my favorite console out of all three of those. Don't get me wrong, they have classics. PlayStation has classics, N64 has classics, but you know what? Sega Saturn's just badass, man. It is like having the arcade on there, and a lot of the fighters on there, the CPS2 ones, were really good. So yeah, some awesome stuff there. Bulk / Patreon tube, no problem. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. And here we go. Bulk / we have the English translation. Now I can't remember, all these games, they get requested quite a bit, but I can never ever remember what they are. So yeah, man, that was kind of nuts, right? The stream just died. I'm really curious to see how it happens. What I might, if there's a big, if it has like a big blank period in there, which I hope, hopefully it doesn't, right? If it does, then what I intend to do is maybe edit the stream after to kind of get rid of that thing. But thanks everyone that came back and stuck by. I don't think it had anything to do with my mobile setup. And all of you guys that came back, have a kissy from Sega. You are Sega and you are being kissed. By the way, that's not me. Games that require 4. Yeah, I mean, and they work fine, man. A lot of the fighters, they utilize the 4 MB RAM cartridge. Cotton that we ran earlier utilizes that as well. So yeah, there's definitely some stuff there. But guys, I'm digging this mobile setup, man. Seriously, it really is that good. I'm very impressed by it, man. I'm kind of glad I went down this route. Unfortunately, in order to, let me just bring it up again. Sorry, I'm killing it with that. But if you ever look at my monitor on the left, I've got it letterboxed, right? Because I couldn't. It's something that I bought from AliExpress. So the resolution of this is 1920 by 1280, which makes it 1280p. Some funny aspect ratio. But when I add that resolution manually in, oh yeah, this game's fantastic. When I add the resolution manually to MiSTer by adding it to MiSTer's INI as a custom resolution, it just doesn't pick it up, it crashes. So I've had to do I've gone with just 1080p and that works. I've accepted that I've got it letterboxed and whatnot. Again, this is a good game, man. Yeah, very good game. I remember this was one of the games earlier on that crashed. Again, how good is that, right? You can be a robot on the ground. I mean, wow. Like, you know, that jump to 3D and my love for arcade games, this definitely delivers on both of them. Now I'm gonna wander around like a headless chicken, but let's fly and wander around now, right? To the right. I should really follow the directions, right? Oh, straight ahead. Okay, let's go straight ahead. Ah, okay. Oh, guys, I completely suck at this, right? Okay, maybe it's better to be the robot for now, right? Get out of here, man. I'm gonna smash you up. Okay. Oh, I can fly, can't I? Let's go over the water. Oh, look at those water effects, guys. Wow. I kind of like the robot, man. Any other? Have we got any other requests down here after Bulk Flash? Yo, Nathan Atrial, how you doing, man? Welcome here. Good evening. It's actually good night over here. It's quite late. Do you know what? Let's go to we've got it here. X-Men versus Street Fighter. So that's one of the ones that uses the 4 MB RAM expansion. It's crazy, right? You know, the kind of memory we've got now. That little laptop that I was showing you guys in my setup in here, that's a 10-inch laptop and it's got 32 gig of RAM, right? Like and it's the 2022 model that I've got. The Yes, Scalino, we can do that after. The 2024 model, you can get it with up to 64 gig of RAM. Like, I was kind of tempted on getting a new one, right? But all I bloody do on it is, really edit on the go, and sometimes I live stream from that laptop in bed. It's got a couple of controllers. I've got them hidden away, but it's got a couple of controllers built into it, and I can actually like play on that controller. Again, my obsession with handheld gaming, right? So let's go again. I love the intros for these games, man. They just look so darn good, man. But yeah, let's right. We'll do Astra Superstars after this one. What's again? Require. Oh, sorry. You know what? The restart point. I think it's a 4 megabyte RAM, not 4 gig RAM, man. In those days, megabytes were big, man. Who remembers, right? I remember when I first got my PSP, right? And I wanted to buy a SanDisk memory stick Duo for the PSP, right? And it was £100 for a 1 gig memory stick Duo, right? I managed to get one with a 30% discount for £70. And I felt like I was robbing the place, man. I was so happy to get it at that price. And I remember the PSP, man. I remember when you kind of hacked them, they were just wicked. Yeah, no one does stuff in megabytes, man. It's tiny, right? It's tiny. It's like the other day, man. A friend of mine, he got like a, I don't know, like a box with 1,000 memory sticks in there. Each memory stick's like 2 gigs. So I ended up taking like, I don't know, like a couple of hundred of them. I don't even know why. I've kind of got them at work. So sometimes if I need to give someone some files, I'll just give it to them on those memory stick, you know, because sometimes you have to password protect stuff, and it's whenever you're sending stuff via and it's password protected, right? It just never makes it through any corporate kind of firewall or any kind of defenses that they've got. So it doesn't work it out well. I was hacking PSP with people, but oh man, that was amazing, man. I was quite fortunate to have friends that did that stuff for free. And I remember eventually there was the Pandora battery that came out, right? Everyone bought the Pandora battery, and it just made everything easy, right? It just worked, right? It just worked. You just put that Pandora battery in, and it unbricked PSPs. It just, yeah, man, it was really, really good. So again, fantastic to have this. You know, if you're an arcade fighting games player, guys, then this was a game that you kind of wanted. So is he charging this? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Why has this crashed? Okay, that's interesting, right? This is on dual RAM. This is one of the things that actually work. Let's give it a reset again and try something now. That's interesting. Do you know what I am gonna do actually? I'm gonna plug the monitor out of the MiSTer, and I'm gonna plug it into my laptop, because my laptop doesn't have any issues giving out power. And I'm wondering if this is taking power away from the MiSTer. Let's see if it crashes again, and then I'm gonna move the display. I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be a thing, but we'll test it out. What's that? My VIC 20 3K. Imagine that, man. I mean, it used to be. I mean, I just wonder now, right? You know, 10 years from now, am I going to have a handheld where I'm going to have every single PS3 game on there? They're going to be seen as SNES games where you've just got, you know, what do I want on there? I'll just get the whole ROM set, because, you know, this comes with like 9 million teraflops of memory. Right, let's have a look. Okay, that's crashed right there. That's interesting, right? I'm just going to disconnect my display from the MiSTer. You shouldn't really notice anything, right? But let me plug it back in. Right, okay, I've plugged it into my laptop. I could plug it into a power source, but I think my laptop is decent enough to do that, right? So let's give this a reset, just to see if drawing extra power from the MiSTer had like an effect on something, right? Because if it doesn't crash now, then I'm quite happy to put that down as the cause. Or it could just be there's an issue with it, right? Because this was one of the last games to begin working on the SEGA Saturn core. It always kind of froze when you first got into a game or near the handshake, and it was amazing to get this up and running, right? Which is super, right? So let's have a look, and hopefully it won't crash. And that's interesting. It will just mean that I shouldn't plug my monitor into the MiSTer. I should either plug it into the laptop, which I'm hopefully, you know, I haven't got too many devices plugged into it. Let's have a look now. So I'll go, where did I go? Let's do the same thing. I went Charlie, and was it Magneto that I went, or I think it was Magneto that I went. So let's have a look to see if, and I went Turbo here, and it crashed near the beginning. Now, if it doesn't crash, maybe that was an issue where too much power was being drawn by the MiSTer, not enough power was going to the DE10 Nano itself, but I think that theory is out of the window because it has crashed for the third time. Okay, so that's interesting, right? I'm on the latest version of the core and it's crashing, but you know what I am going to do, guys? Let's do a full power cycle, right? Because last time that kind of worked. You know, in fact, I'm just going to disconnect the power out of my MiSTer. Right, okay, my MiSTer's back in. And I'm interested, right? Because last time I did have issues with it and I had to completely reset my MiSTer. So let's go with that now. Let's go over to Saturn. Okay, so I've got 0904, 09. Okay, that's a newer version of the no, that's 04, sorry. 0405, that's the latest one. So let's have a look. Okay, wicked. I'll have a look at some of your requests there. I'm just really interested in seeing if X-Men versus Street Fighter is genuinely crashing. So I've disconnected the power cable out of my MiSTer. That's how much of a hard reset I gave it. I didn't really wait 30 seconds or anything. I just kind of went with it straight away. So let's get this up and running. In the meantime, guys, have yourself another kiss. Love it. I can't get bored of that. I'm really sorry. I like having some kind of props and entertainment up there. Oh, what was that? Okay, let's have a look now. Again, let's recreate the same thing. If it crashes now, then there may well be an issue with X-Men versus Street Fighter. This issue may not be present on single SDRAM. It might be a dual SDRAM thing, right? Who knows, right? Let's have a look. So maybe there are differences, and if that is the case, I haven't got my single RAM MiSTer is upstairs, right? So I can't check that. But if that is the case, then hey man, here's a disadvantage of having a dual RAM MiSTer. So let's have a look. Are we gonna crash? Are we gonna run? Because this ran good, guys. This run. Okay, we're good so far. Okay, right. Okay, so we've done a power cycle. Well, why is he so bad, man? You know what? I'll tag now as well. Okay, I really don't like Magneto. I know he's top tier in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 apparently, but I think those games are very dependent on what your teams are, right? If you ever go on FightCade and watch replays of people playing this game, man, the top players for this game are so darn good. Okay, so there you go. It's not really crashing, right? I don't know what the issue was there, but doing a hard power cycle. And that's good advice for anyone. When you're trying this stuff out, you know, try and troubleshoot stuff, right? You know, give it a full reset. And yeah, hopefully stuff will work for you. But it's looking good. We're running. Okay, we are looking good, guys. I'm hyped about yeah, Panzer Dragoon works. I don't think I've got number 2. That's that Panzer Dragoon Zui or ZWEII or something. I don't think I've got that. I've got Panzer Dragoon 1 and I've got Panzer Dragoon Saga. I have to be honest with that though. I do find the controls rather hard to kind of get used to. Okay. Oh, Chun-Li is poning me, guys. I'm doing like World Warrior combos there. Okay. There's probably, you can do like big combos in this, right? I just can't do the superhero games. I really want to see what he does with that super. Let's see if we can get rogue on the way in. Come on. Haha, nice, okay. Okay, she gets more powers now, right? Okay, let's right. What were the requests we've got? I'm gonna go through some of them, guys. So Astra Superstars was one a little bit back. So let's now go Astra Superstars. Here we go. And I hope everyone's having a good Thursday. I know some of you guys will still be at work. It's the afternoon for you guys in the USA. Over here, what time have we got? We got 11:15. So I'm kind of going to aim to finish by midnight, right? So let's see how that goes. So Astro World, awesome stuff. Yep, okay, Last Bronx, wicked, nice to see those. Yeah, I just see that you try rebooting the MiSTer. Yeah, that definitely worked, man. IT 101. Have you tried turning it off and on? I love it when it's got computer versus computer. Okay, let us Myron. Okay, let's go. Oh, nice. I can chill for a bit and let the computer fight the computer. This is a good looking game, guys. This is. Oh wow, okay, this is looking good. I remember a while ago now, we're going back like months and months, there was certain issues with this, right? It ran and maybe there was some graphical glitches or some sound glitches, but wow, this core's just a 100% magic, man. It's amazing to see what we're getting on the MiSTer. I mean, look at we've got N64, PlayStation, SEGA Saturn, and you know what? If these cores weren't on the MiSTer, I would still be extremely happy with the MiSTer. With the arcade stuff that we've got, with the SNES, the Mega Drive, all that stuff is just absolutely dandy to me, right? And having these cores in there is just a massive bonus, right? So guys, like, what made you guys get the MiSTer? Like, what was something that you heard was coming out, something that you saw, and you thought, you know what? This is for me. I need to get on board. I'm going to get on board and get myself a MiSTer. For me, I always say it in my videos, say it in my live streams, it was CPS2. To play Street Fighter on the MiSTer and having it feel exactly like the arcade. And my friend who's out, I tried it on, he's got the arcade board himself. And honestly, there was like no differences. I think there was only one bug in it at that time, which was if you picked old DJ on the MiSTer version, it crashed the core. But you know what, guys? I've never even picked that character, right? The only old character that I've picked really is either old Ryu, old Ken, or old Sagat. I know some of the old characters are decent in that, but again, not really very interested in that myself. But lots of people, there's some people that I speak to that got it because of the SNES. There you go, Scolino for me, PSX, Saturn, N64. No, I completely get that. I got the MiSTer so I could downsize my collection, sold all my Game Boy Advance and tons of other stuff. Yeah, wicked. Yeah, no, that's absolutely decent. See, so Nathan April, like for Game Boy Advance stuff, like where I always, you know, mention that my bias towards handheld gaming, right? Again, I really do like the handheld stuff, and for that reason, I kind of like the Analog Pocket to play all that stuff on. Hopefully, we'll get a MiSTer handheld. That will be wicked. Oh, Cave Core, yeah, that's good. That's done by No Object, right? That's not a developer that I've ever spoken to or anything, right? It's someone that I know of. I also like that game Hot Dog Storm, which I think is a very, very good shmup as well, right? What do we have here? I think, okay, someone said Panzer Dragoon. So we'll go Panzer, right? And then after that, we'll do Last Bronx. So, yeah, the cave stuff's good, right? Let's go Panzer Dragoon. Yeah, I know people really, really want FPGA cores of the cave system, right? Because playing those games in emulation, there's parts where the developers use the hardware available to them to make the game very, very difficult, which you need the slowdown for, right? When you play it on emulation, you don't get that slowdown, and the game's not meant to be played like that. The game is actually meant to slow down so you can actually get around and dodge those bullets, right? Have I loaded the wrong one? So when you play it on emulation, that slowdown's not there, you get killed. It's actually playing the game in like super difficult hard mode or whatever, right? So I know a lot of people want FPGA cores for that. And the hardware for that, I think the games, the cave games, they're like $3,000, man. I mean, that's a lot to play, right? For an arcade game. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like games, but I can't see myself paying that much for a game. Again, this game is just epic, man. I remember seeing this. This is one of the games I saw on the Saturn when the Saturn and the PlayStation were released. Advanced consoles just off Carnaby Street, guys. And I saw this game and I was like, wow, you're riding a dragon. All honesty, I can't even remember if I played it or if I just saw it. I'm pretty sure I would have played it. The guy in there was pretty cool, right? Advanced consoles are really, really good. I remember getting like, the guy was very, very good at making stuff. And I know I needed a cable for my Neo Geo to be able to run on a Philips 8833 monitor. If anyone remembers that, I had that for my Amiga. It was a great monitor, actually. It had these dials on it that would just let you change the aspect ratio, right? You could change the horizontal sorry, you could change the horizontal and the vertical length, right, of the image on screen. So it was really, really good. So he made me a cable so I could get my Neo Geo running on that, right, which I was very, very impressed with. But I remember seeing this in his shop, man, and I miss those days at the shops, right? Guys, have you got any good game shops near you? All the game shops near me are dead. I've got one independent down here. You know, the guy, I guess, makes more money on phones. That's what he's focusing on. The shelves are just dead. There's just nothing there, man. I mean, you know, going back even up until the PlayStation 2, it was fun going to the shops, man. Even some of the PlayStation 3 time, you could go shops and pick up games. Now, you go to a shop, man, it is dead. Some retailers have just given up on physical games. They only sell codes. It just truly, truly sucks, man. I mean, you know, the days of going shops when you're kids, looking at games, you know, spending Saturday, going out, you know, meeting up with your friends, going to comic book stores, going, you know, getting a McDonald's or getting a takeaway on that day. And then checking out like game stores, trying out the demos. I mean, it was really, really good, man. Golden days, and you don't get those days anymore, man. Yeah, it is just, yeah, it's bad. Going to you know, going to like WH Smith, finding lots and lots of magazines there with demo discs on the cover. Sometimes, you know, demo discs would go missing from magazines on the cover. Have no idea who took them, but obviously, you know, that is a criminal act, and I don't you know, I don't really promote any criminal activity, so I can neither confirm nor deny any involvement in demo discs and cassettes going missing from magazines. But yeah, those were the good days, man. We don't have that anymore, man. Shops are just dead now. Like shops, retail shops are just, they're just dead. They're absolutely dead. Everything's just online. Stare at a screen. Anyway, that's enough of my whinge on that. Okay, what we're doing now, Last Bronx, right? Let's do Last Bronx, which I think is a fighter, right? Oh, wicked. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more cores, right? There's still more cave games I know people want. There's a really good game made, is it made by Cave or developed by Cave? Is it Pro Gear on CPS2? You know what, it's mad, right? Whenever I heard the name Pro Gear, I always thought to myself it was some kind of racing game, right? Like Pro Gear, Professional Gear, that's what you got. But no, yeah, apparently it's a shmup and a very, very good one, and it's not one that you have to play in Tate mode. It's yeah, it's one like a normal aspect ratio, 4:3 or whatever. It might be a little bit of a weird one, not exactly 4:3, but that's a really, really great game. Oh man, yeah, the restart point, invade Dixon's on the way home from school and hug the NES 10 player, wicked. See, that's when retail was booming, man. You could get into a shop, they had all those, they had all the different computers and, well, mainly the consoles out there that you could play, and it was buzzing, right? And it was no timer limit or anything like that. If no one was around, you were on the machines for a while. Sometimes the big kids would go over there and not get off there, man. For me, mostly the old consoles, and it seems a lot more friendly to use in software emulation, station, etc. emulators. Yeah, the ability to play on a CRT TV. Yep, no, that makes sense. I'm okay with using software emulators, But I have to say that RetroArch is absolutely great. But it does take a while to get your head around it, right? It took me a while to get used to it. I know my way around it, right? But yeah, I still have to search for some options. The thing that I find with RetroArch, there's just way too many options, man, and you can get lost in menus. But yeah, I definitely like the MiSTer for its simplicity. A lot of people always say, oh, why? Okay, I just realized now chat has gone from here. Let me try and fix chat. I didn't realize. So after that little power outage thing, it goes in there. So what I need to do is, bear with me, guys. So let me go here. Right, okay, I didn't realize that. So that's what happens when we have a power outage, the chat just disappears. So now, hopefully, if all goes well, I should just be able to add it back into the video. Let's have a look. Kind of doing stuff here in the background. Let's see. Is it coming? No? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, chat seems to be dead for some reason. I can see the chat, I can see you guys chatting, I just can't bring it on screen. And I kind of really do want to bring it on screen, right? Because it's nice when someone does watch a replay, they can see everything that's happening there. But that's what happens when we get a power outage, guys. Right, that's interesting. Let me try and add it as a new thing here. So, okay. Okay, yeah, there's a certain way of doing it. I've definitely followed the steps, but what I may need to do is I may need to just add it as something new. Sorry guys, bear with me. At least we've got something running, right? So let me add a temp one in here. Oh, here we go. So I need to now change the size of it. So bear with me again, guys. Let's go in here, and I can't remember the size I need to do. Okay, didn't notice that sooner because I'm working on that small display. I've got a very small preview window that I'm looking at. Right, okay. Here we go. Look, some real time stuff, right? And okay, we're good. And let's bring the browser down a bit. Let's bring it down below the MiSTer Addons logo. Okay, we are kind of good now, guys. Okay, so we've got chat on screen, so that's kind of good to see. Didn't realize it just kind of disappeared, man. Power outages and what they do, right? So did we have any other requests out there? Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, do you know what? Yes, Gleany, I wouldn't even try. I actually had a hand from Philae who helped me set up the X68000 core. It was very easy, right? Once you've got those .hdfs. But yeah, some of the stuff is a little bit of a pain to set up in RetroArch. So let's have a look. Let's run another game. There's no request there, so layer section's a good one. It's a good shmup. What's Added Daddy saying? Yeah, I don't have it. Waiting for upcoming console options like Replay 2. I feel like MiSTer will just give me a lot of peace of mind versus absolutely. So replay 2, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So there's a few things that I'm kind of looking forward to. One of the things definitely out of the next generation stuff, I'm really looking forward to the replay 2. As well as that, I'm kind of looking forward to testing out that MiSTer clone, right? I want to see if it delivers on everything. I want to see if it delivers a one-to-one experience with the DE10 Nano. Is the clone going to be as good? Are there going to be issues there? Because you know what? You can have something that's working and be super happy about it, right? But how do you know somewhere down the line an issue isn't going to arise? Now, I'm optimistic as I am skeptical about it. Maybe more optimistic than skeptical. I want to try it out, right? And Takeyudan's been kind enough to say that, you know, when it's kind of finalized, it shouldn't be an issue for kind of me to get one. And I guess with me, Video Game Esoterica will get one as well. I hope someone like Lou from Lou's Retro Source gets one as well, because it'll be interesting to conduct some tests on that, right? To see, just to see how it goes, right? I mean, I've got an idea of the stuff I want to run. Like, for example, this micro SD card that I've got in here now, right? Because it can run MiSTer, I will film a game, and in a track mode, let's say an arcade game, let's say Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, because I love that game, right? I will run that game and I'll run it for 8 hours overnight, and then the following day or during the day, I will then run it on the clone using the same micro SD card. I'll just take it out and put it in there, and I'll run it for 8 hours. I'll then match them up frame by frame, let the whole thing run, then maybe do some time lapse on it so you can see 8 hours in 10 minutes or something, and to see if it, now, if the clone is absolutely perfect, even over a long period like 8 hours, it should not even be a frame out, right? The results should be exactly parallel. So it'll be interesting to kind of test that out, right? I mean, for me, even if it delivers, right, even if the clone delivers 90% of the stuff the MiSTer does, if it's a lot cheaper and there's stuff coming out, you know what, I would consider that acceptable, man. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, do you know what, I'm excited about the clone, but guys, when you talk handheld stuff to me, man, I get super hyped. Just the thought of playing the PlayStation version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation Core. Now the thing is, the DE10 Nano, how it's going to fit with cooling, any extra bits, you know, are you going to end up with a big chunky handheld, right? It'd be nice to get a sexy handheld. Like the Steam Deck's a big handheld. Some of the Android handhelds I've got in the Unlock Pocket, they're a nice size handheld. So it'll be nice to get a decent size handheld. And what'll be interesting is always battery. Like, what kind of battery are you going to get on it? Is the battery going to weigh down the thing? You know, you're going to get a powerful battery on there. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Let's do that. Let's do. Is that what it's called? Kayu Yoko. Yep. I always forget what it's called, but I remember seeing it, guys, and it just looked wicked. Yes. Thank you for recommending that. The restart point. Yeah, this is beefy, man. This looks good. I can't remember. Do we have the arcade core Tiger Heli for the MiSTer, or is it being worked on? I know we definitely haven't got number 2. Do you know, I forget sometimes what cores are out and what's not out. The Twin Cobra. Yeah, you know what? I used to play Twin Cobra in the arcade, man. There was a certain time where I played shmups, man. But man, they're difficult. Like I never quite mastered shmups, man. But I feel shmups are much better played on an arcade stick. Right now I'm playing on a Saturn controller. I do like playing on the arcade stick. I think I've actually done a Saturn. Oh, you know what? I can actually play this in entire mode. I could just rotate this screen, right? But I realized that when you do arcade mode, it flips the image. But if you do Saturn mode, you get a normal image. But we'll go with Saturn because this is how we are on the stream. How do we add credits? Okay, shoulder buttons, add credits. 9 is the maximum you can put in. Or can you add more? Let's find out. We hear that sound. Oh yeah, you can add more. Cool. Oh, this is fast. I'm kind of pulling down, man. It's fast again. I tell you, explosions just look so good in these games, and the Saturn does a great job of bringing them here. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna die a lot. I'll tell you what, on this 10-inch screen, it's definitely a little bit tougher playing shmups. It's, wow, look at that! Holy crap, man! Imagine seeing that in the arcade. Just that kind of zoom in it will just blow you away. Let me do some bombs, man. Bombs away! Wow, what a game, guys! What a game! Look at that zoom in and zoom out. Wow! Yeah, remember the era these games were out when you saw stuff like that. The zoom, you were just blown away. You were like, wow, that just looks so darn good, man. It really does. I remember like first time seeing the Neo Geo games like Art of Fighting. Let me say the T properly, Art of Fighting. In the UK, we end up saying like Art of Fighting, Art Fighting. We don't really emphasize the T. But yeah, I remember seeing the zoom in and the zoom out on that. Oh, okay. Where's the start button? It crashed? Oh, no, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I remember seeing the zoom in and zoom out, especially in Samurai Showdown. It just looks so good, man. You got Galford there with his dog and zooms in and out. You've got Earthquake that's just massive and it zooms in and zooms out. It just looks wicked. So getting back to not pronouncing our T's, if you come to the UK, especially London, you'll find when people say, can I have a glass of water, it will be like, can I have a glass of water? Water. That's how we kind of say it. So I've made a conscious effort to say water instead of water. But you'll find a lot of people, definitely in London, I don't know if it's spread across the whole country, but they definitely say, in London, they definitely say water. We just, I don't know, we just kind of completely mispronounce T's, man. Oh, this is a couple, but guys, what a game, seriously. Take some bombs. Love like all the effects of the Saturn on this thing, man. And the other thing is, I'm powering up the screen that I'm using. I'm powering it up using my laptop now and not the MiSTer, but I think there's enough power in the MiSTer. It wasn't causing X-Men versus Street Fighter to crash. Man, you know what? I've got another bomb. Yeah, okay, give me some more. Let's just get past this part, man. Graphics are so good. The effects, graphics. Look at that, man. Love that zoom in, man. Can't get bored of it. Oh, we've got a good arcade core. We've got the IRM 107 for the MiSTer now, courtesy of Wicker Wacker, and that has that game Fire Barrel in there. That's quite a decent shmup as well. It's very, very similar to Raiden. It reminds me a lot of the Raiden games. That's worth checking out if you want to grab that hit update tool. In fact, I haven't actually hit update tool on this MiSTer. I don't think, not at least for a few days. So I don't think I've got that Fire Barrel on this actual unit. But I did update the MiSTer OS, right? Which surprisingly we've not had one for a long time. I had to go quite back a few posts to find the latest version, and I did update the SEGA Saturn core to the latest one as well. But yeah, I should really just run update tool at some point as well. The new puzzle game as well, I did a video on it. It's called Techie Hacky. If anyone's into puzzle games, not really my jam because I'm colorblind, but it does seem like a decent game. I don't think that's available via update tool though. You would have to add that manually. The game pauses sometimes. Okay, cool. Thanks for that, the restart point. Appreciate the knowledge, man. I'm going to buy comments, and there are people who use French and mix it. Yeah, you know what? It's really weird when people speak different languages. Sometimes their accent kind of carries over into the language. So yeah, it's interesting. It's always interesting. I tell you what was really funny, right? What's this? No, Night Warriors. Okay. I'm gonna tell you something funny, right? Which was absolutely hilarious, right? Alright, okay. Let's run the demo for Rabbit. Right, so guys, during COVID, right, when all the kids were being taught at home, right, so the schools were lumbering you with work, man, like a lot of work for the kids, probably more work than they actually do in a normal day of school. It was like, here you go, Google Classroom, you've got everything on there. Then they were delivering lessons by video. Have I even got the right game? Oh no, okay, Radiant Silver Gun. Never quite understood this game. Hopefully it'll run into a demo. So one of my youngest kids, his teacher at the time was a Spanish lady, right? So with a Spanish accent, saying the word yellow, but instead of saying yellow, she would say jello, like with the sound of a J. So instead of the color yellow, it would be jello. But what the worst thing was, and I don't really criticize the teacher for it, I did make a joke with her later on after COVID when everyone was back in school. So what she actually did was, she was teaching phonics, and she was actually saying to the kids, yeah, jello. Say after me. So it's like, yeah, jello. Which I found absolutely hilarious. So I guess in her head she was saying yellow, but to us we could clearly hear it. She was saying jello, like a jello shot, right? Again, interesting, right? I like the FMV for this, right? And I don't think this is going to be based on a cartoon, so I kind of should be all right with. I should be okay with running this, right? It looks absolutely cool, I have to say. It looks very nice. Let's have a look. Sorry, just checking some stuff in the background while we watch this very interesting Radiant Silver Gun cartoon. Absolutely fantastic. Let's have a look. Okay, guys, let me go back in here. And okay, what we got? Okay, we've got 16 people watching. We're good. We've got a late night stream, about another 20 minutes to go. Let's have a look. Okay, again, liking this cartoon, guys. Yeah, no, they are wicked, man. Nice one. Yeah, I kind of thought that, Scalini, only because it's not based on like an anime or a cartoon, right? So yeah, that's wicked. That's wicked. That looks really, really good. You know, I don't even want to play this game. Do you know what we should play when it comes to shooters? Where's that one? Someone in chat on commented on one of my videos and actually told me that there's another 2-time Bokan series games out for the PlayStation, and yeah, man, I was hyped about that. So I've actually got those 2 games. I haven't tried them out yet. I'll do a PlayStation stream at some point, and I'll try those games out. So there was an additional 2-time Bokan series, and to that I say, oh, what's going on? Why is that not actually loading? It's weird. Let's time Bokan series. Let's give it another reset. Usually it works after the... Maybe it just needs a little kissy from the Sega lady. Okay, let's see. Come on, you could... Oh, wow. Okay, we're in game. See, sometimes you just need to give it that kissy. Okay, here we go. Yeah, do you know what? I can't... I just never understood. I never understood Radiant Silvergun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I haven't actually tried to understand it. I've played it on stream a few times and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I kind of understand Ikaruga a little bit better, which I don't know if that's a sequel or an unofficial sequel or a follow-up or whatever. I know they're both made by Treasure. So Ikaruga, that's actually, that's out for something like mobile now. I know it's out for Switch. I think I've got it for the Switch. Oh, absolutely. Unloved homie. This one's for you, buddy. You are the Sega side. Absolutely fantastic, man. I cannot get bored of that. Like, I could look at that the whole time. That was actually really good, how that thing rotated behind the lady. I'm gonna go Vulture this time. Is that Vulture? Did I go Vulture? No, okay, I don't even know what animal I went. I'm getting kind of tired, man. I didn't actually wake up early. I tried sleeping a bit. I didn't have to get up early or anything, but I was up at 8:30. And that was really, really good. No worries, unloved homie. See, you are definitely loved, right? You just got you got kissed by a hottie. I was just actually wondering how old that actual advert was, right, where that lady's kissing Sega, right? Because, you know, if we're talking like 20 years ago, and at that time she was 25, okay, so she'll be similar to my age now, which, yeah, I'm good with women my age, right? Guys, you know, did you ever think, right? Right, okay, so like when I was young, right, when I was like 18, 19, 20, right, and I remember going out clubbing, right, and I remember meeting some women when I was out clubbing, like in their like less 30s, sometimes, especially some of the 40s. I remember like a 42-year-old woman I got really friendly with, and I think she had a vested interest in me, but I wasn't very interested. I kind of saw her as an old lady, right? She was 42, unless she was lying about her age and she was like 65 or something, but she told me she was 42. But I remember in my late teens and early 20s, I remember meeting ladies that were in their 40s, and I was just not attracted to them whatsoever. I did not find them attractive one bit, right? Now that I'm in my 40s, man, yeah, I find a lot of 40-year-olds attractive. In fact, I'd even say I've seen some 50-year-olds that are attractive. I don't think I've hit the spot yet where I find 60-year-olds attractive. I think that's just too old, but I'm pretty sure, you know, in another 15 years or so, I'll get there. So it's interesting, right? So, you know, you're like a 20-year-old, you see a 60-year-old and you think, oh man, you know what, I could never fancy that lady, right? But yeah, when you turn 60, that 60-year-old automatically becomes a hottie, right? Absolutely amazing. So interested in that. And you know, I'm sure there's some of you guys. There's a guy that I work with, and from a young age, he was always into like women twice his age. I don't know what he had. We're talking like when he was like 20, you know, his ideal like hookup would be with like a 45-year-old. Okay, that's for everyone. That definitely wasn't me anyway. Really hope my wife doesn't watch this stream. If she does, this is stuff that happened before we were married, love. And when I'm talking about, you know, attractive women similar to my age, I'm talking about you. And I say that while I play Time Bokan series, which I absolutely love. Where's that little love it. Love the little elephant riding the big elephant. Absolutely fantastic. You know, I run this game every stream. Let me put on something else. Okay, I never cared about age. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've always been interested in people similar to my age, you know. That's always been my thing. Let's go into the CHD folder, right? We haven't gone into that one yet. There's some good games in here. Okay, this was an interesting little fighter as well. Yeah, so okay, so yeah, I mean, there was a guy. Okay, there's a guy that I work with, right? And yeah, he was that when he was 20, he married like a 45 or 50-year-old man. Like this girl was a lot older than him, man. And yeah, they're divorced now, and he's got like a woman closer to his age, man. And the guy just looks really, really happy compared to how he was. So I can only say that that's down to him. Okay, let's want to make sure we don't pick Asuka ×2. Oh, I've gone. Okay. Deathmatch mode. Okay. We'll go Asuka. This is an interesting fighter. Nah, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll go. That's for everyone. Some people, you know, are okay. You know, like I said, I've always been interested in my age. Like I said, when I was younger, I would have never thought that I would find someone in their 40s attractive. But now in my 40s, I find people in their 40s extremely attractive, right? So I guess it changes with age for some people. Definitely has for me, right? Okay. Again, this is an interesting little fighter. From what I remember last time, it was quite easy to do combos. I didn't get my butt handed to me. Ooh. Interesting little fighter. Again, shout out to Philly, man. He's the one that told me this. I think other people mentioned it as well, man. But I always remember Philly tells me about these obstacle games, man. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when you're outside. Well, you know what? To be honest, I actually don't have that much in common with my wife. You know, she's into her stuff, and I'm into my stuff, and it's pretty cool, right? You know, that's cool. I mean, we're friends, but we've definitely got different interests, man. Like she's not into gaming or anything like that at all. But to be honest, I think if I got a wife that was into gaming, between us, we probably would have just been failures, man. We probably wouldn't have had any kids, and we probably would have been, I don't know, sitting down together doing Final Fantasy together or whatnot. Ooh, okay, what we got? We've got about 10 minutes left. Should really get some sleep. I've got a family dental appointment tomorrow, man. Me, my wife, and my 3 kids. I actually usually take my mum as well to that appointment, but she's still out of the country. So, yeah. Okay, what have we got here? Ooh. What's this? My best friend. What the hell is that? Is it gonna run? I didn't see the bar come up. Okay, Guardian Force. Okay, we can run Guardian Force. Let's see if this one kind of runs out there. Yeah, you know what? I have to say that, man. Like my mentality and a lot of stuff that I did was yeah, there was a lot of dumb stuff, man. But you know what? I think to myself that, you know what? If oh, this isn't that. Okay, this is that weird fighter, I think. Right, let me go with Guardian Force. Right, have we got it in this folder? No, it's going to be in the other. Oh, I don't think we got Guardian Force actually. We have. Whenever I look for it, it's something. Oh no, that's Galactic Attack. Okay, let's have a look. Maybe we have. Yeah, we have Guardian Force. Wicked. Yeah, so right, when I look back at the stuff I did when I was 18, I was like, okay, that was really, really dumb, right? How could I do that, right? But then I wonder to myself, right, when I'm 60 and I'm going to look at myself in the 40s and go, you know what, I was a twat. I done some really, really dumb stuff then. Ooh, thanks, Guardian Force. I love this game, man. This is like a dream come true, right? It controls exactly as how you would think it would control. And the thing that I like about this game here, right, is like games where you can rotate your fire like this one, right? I've always thought, you know what, you always need to have that up fire available, right? And this game has it. It just nails it, right? It just, seriously, like, play this game. And I have to say, guys, I actually tried this game on MAME. I was doing like a live stream on the little laptop I've got. And that's a powerful enough laptop, right? It's got 6800U, 32 gig of RAM. You know, there's no reason why it should slow down. And you know what? It just did not perform on MAME. The input lag was horrendous. The game kind of slowed down. Maybe I'll try it on like my, you know, my laptops with a dedicated graphics card. But I don't really think that should make a difference, right? I mean, yeah, it's just so good. And this is where I feel like if we don't have an arcade core for something, where the Saturn steps in and it just does a great job. And this game here, Guardian Force is a shining example of that, guys. It just delivers, man. I mean, what a great game. I never played this in the arcade. I would have loved to play this in the arcade. In fact, I should actually just have a look at the arcade machine. I wonder how the buttons work. Are they going to be like how they are on the SEGA Saturn, where on the SEGA Saturn, right, you've got B to fire, A is to rotate your turret anti-clockwise or to the left, and C is to rotate it clockwise, right? And you know what, guys? It works amazingly well, right? It works really well. I can imagine like playing this game, really, really getting used to it, and just becoming absolutely great at it. Now, do you have a bomb or anything? Oh, you have. Okay. I'll press. Okay, that's interesting. Pressing the two together, done it. Okay, that was interesting. Oh, okay. Wow, that was cool. So pressing your two turret rotate buttons gives this kind of fire. Looks like some kind of butterfly coming out. Okay, interesting. Again, guys, this is a great game, man. Thanks for the recommendation. Absolutely loved it. What's this TV? What's that saying down there? Oh, I should have got the power up there. Yes, the restart point, what I'm saying is the arcade version on MAME, like, it's better on the SEGA Saturn, right? So unless we get an FPGA arcade core, like I just found like the main version of Bubble